I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little girl, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. Good evening, good people, children, boys and girls, children of all ages. All right, it is me, your host, Maze Madman. It is he, my co-host over here, Ryan, Sam Clutchman, Fravel. Ryan, what's going on?
Not much, man. Ready for another weekend of college football. You know what's crazy? It feels like the season still started, just started, and we're already halfway through.
You're absolutely right. It does seem that way. Goj has started his shenanigans early. Michigan is overrated, and Notre Dame is exactly where they should be, strength of schedule-wise. Goj, tell us exactly where Michigan should be rated. If they're overrated, let us know in the comment section. Before we get started, you guys already know it's only two of you here so far, but make sure you hit the like button and share this. Let's get some more people in here. Ryan, let's talk about it. Notre Dame went to Duke, and it was shaky there for a second. Tell us exactly what happened.
Came out of there with a dub against a top 20 undefeated ranked team on the road.
Okay.
I know you said it's a basketball school, but I think Duke is slowly turning itself into a football school. Mike Elko is a really good head coach. I think what he's doing there at Duke is really special and impressive. People forget because it was week one that Duke blew out Clemson. Now, Clemson is obviously not the Clemson teams of years past, but Clemson was still obviously good enough to give Florida State all they could handle and force that game to go to overtime. So Clemson's not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, Clemson's also coming off a blowout win at Syracuse that all of us except Phil picked Syracuse to win. I think Duke's legit. I think with Riley Leonard under center, they have a shot at the ACC. When you're talking about the teams that have a legit shot to win the ACC, what you're talking North Carolina, Florida State, Duke.
Right.
Depending on what Louisville does, if Louisville upsets Notre Dame, you got to put them in that conversation. Okay. So I think Duke is a top 3 team in the ACC. And I think, especially with how we all thought Notre Dame was going to come into that game, unmotivated after the way they lost against Ohio State. I think they came in there actually pretty motivated and aggressive. If you watch that first half, Notre Dame was the better team for 3 quarters of that game. And Duke was lucky that game was not 28-0, 31-0, because what happened was Notre Dame was driving on Duke pretty much the entire first half. But we had 12 penalties.
Right.
10 of those penalties occurred in the red zone. So we had drives where we're getting in the red zone and we're dominating Duke down the field. We just couldn't finish off drives because of most of them were false starts. A couple of them were holdings. And everyone knows who watches football, that ruins drives.
Sure.
We had a missed field goal. That also hurt. But overall, I think Notre Dame, like Greg McElroy said it best, Notre Dame was a better team and looked like they were going to run away with this thing in the first half. That didn't happen because you got to give credit to Duke. I know Notre Dame shot themselves in the foot a lot, but Duke's defense kept them in that game.
Right.
Duke has I gave you guys the stats yesterday. Duke is ranked number 10 in college football in total defense this year. So they're a top 10 defense in college football. But anyway, Yeah, I think I was impressed because when Duke went down there and scored to make it 14-13, if you watched or paid attention to Marcus Freeman's body language, the team's body language, it looked like
What's good?
Phil. I don't know if you watched the game, but to me, it was
Of
like
course, I watched it.
they're like deja vu. This is Ohio State all over again. We had a lead in the fourth quarter, and we blew it. That's what it
So
looked like. That's what it looked like, and I think the demons started to creep up of that Ohio State game again. And let's be real here. Sam Hartman on that final drive put Notre Dame on his back and carried them to that win. If Sam Hartman doesn't make those two throws on third and 10, and the other one was 3rd and 12 that both went for first downs on that drive,
yeah.
and then the big 4th and 16 run. How can you crap on Sam Hartman when if Notre Dame doesn't have Sam Hartman, they don't win that game? Like, let's be real here. If they have Ian Book under center, they're not winning that game.
So okay, I need to a couple things because we got to get some things straight here.
Yeah.
But before we do, there's 3 people here. Make sure you hit the like button, share this video, share this live. Now let me talk to Ryan. Ryan, I feel like this is what happens because we also share a chat, right? I'm in the chat with you guys and the other gentleman in week 0. And the thing is, I don't want to call them excuses because at this point it's not an excuse. But the week before last, in the loss with the other state, you blamed the referees were a problem. You blamed
They were.
right. You blamed there was a lot of blame to go around. This week, you blame the referees again with the targeting call. Although
I only blamed them. I only blamed them for the targeting call because Phil will sit up here and say that that's by rule targeting. But I guarantee you, if that was called on Michigan, if that was called targeting on me, Phil, don't cap, man. You would be like,
here's the other thing, though. Here's the other part of this, Ryan, because this is another part. The other part is you guys are in close games with Duke. Now, no disrespect to Duke, because as you pointed out,
Michigan has played right now.
I'll concede that. I'll concede that. That being said, it doesn't matter. We'd still wipe the floor with Duke. But
you wouldn't.
Come on, man.
On the road in prime time.
You cannot be serious right now. You're serious.
Yes, I'm serious.
We have given you no indication, no reason to believe otherwise.
Hey, Clemson fans said the same thing, that they were going to run over Duke, and look what happened.
Well, Clemson isn't Michigan. Let's be serious. We killed Clemson as well, but that's another story. The issue is this, man. That you guys were in that close game with Duke. You were in that close game with the other state. And I'm not saying that either of these teams are pushovers or whatever, but the fact is that when you were in close games, you cannot then complain about the refereeing in the close game. Because now I get it as a fan. Listen, I'm a Raiders fan, all right? And I've never been as close to tears as I was when they made up a rule for Tom Brady and said, tuck. You know what I mean? Like, so I get it. I get the visceral emotion of
no cap, Phil. Let me ask you right now.
Yeah.
Same circumstances. You just switch out the gold jersey, the gold helmet, and the white jerseys.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you the difference. Michigan, we wouldn't be in a 7-13 or 14.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. I don't care who the opponent is.
All right.
Just put the opponent. Doesn't matter. Say you're playing Ohio State.
Right.
There's a drive.
Yes.
Now this is when I say I'm blaming the refs for that call.
Yeah.
Because it did change it impacted the result of that game because of that play happened on 3rd and 5. Riley Leonard runs out, gets tackled for a 1-yard gain, that makes it 4th and 4. Okay.
Conduct unbecoming.
So it would have been 4th and 4 for Duke. Notre Dame gets a key stop, right? That's a huge
Right.
play
Right.
because there's 7 minutes left in the game. Duke's still down by a touchdown. They're going to kick a field goal, right?
Right.
Most likely. How is that not okay? So anyway, change it. Put that in Michigan uniform. Say they're playing Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State's in the same situation. They're driving down
Yeah.
to go take the lead or whatever. And it's 3rd and 5, and that happens, and Michigan gets a stop on a seemingly normal tackle that we see in college football
That
all
looks
day.
normal.
If that was Michigan,
Yeah.
or let me ask the Ohio State fans, if that was Ohio State and you were the ref, would you throw that flag? Is that what targeting was meant to be?
Yeah, because targeting was meant to protect the ball carrier or catcher and the defender. It's as much in place to protect the person making the tackle as it is the person being tackled.
You would not call that on Michigan, and if that was called on Michigan, man,
man, this is a ridiculous argument. This is ridiculous. Here's the thing, because I can relate, because in 2016, right, JT did not get the first down, but the ref said he got the first down, right? So they reviewed it and everything and said he got a first down. So there's that. I understand. I was upset, but I didn't, and I have not. And I might joke around on Twitter every once in a while and say, JT was short, but it doesn't take up space in my head. After that game, I let it go, whatever, because we still had a chance to win and we didn't. So in overtime, they did what they needed to do and they won the game, right? So and the same applies for you. After that, you had a chance to win the game. You won the game, and that call wasn't so egregious.
Okay, but
I'm
now
talking about the targeting call.
It affects to where that's our starting linebacker that you're going to have out in the first half against Louisville in a ranked matchup on the road. That was not targeting.
Louisville, bro.
Dude, I don't care. Like it affects the game, the next game. That's how big a targeting call is, and this is where I like the whole rule where people are thinking, well, there should be a targeting 1 and a targeting 2. Targeting 1 is for those hits that are not egregious and you could tell are not intent to hurt, or it's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, but the player does not get ejected and does not get kicked out for the next game. And then there's the targeting 2 where it is egregious. You could tell he was head hunting.
Right.
And then he's like, I see hits like that.
So here's the thing. Here's the problem with targeting 1 and 2 is that if I'm just getting targeting 1, as you put it, it's not really deterring me from making those types of tackles. You know what I mean? If it's all
how can
equal,
you watch that play and tell me that Jordan Botelho was intentionally trying to hurt Riley Leonard?
No, but that's not the point. The point isn't that he was intentionally trying to hurt. The point is you're tackling incorrectly. We need you to tackle correctly. He was
wrapping up around his hip area.
No. The wrap was fine. It was the fact that he had the crown of his helmet down. His face mask was facing the ground.
When you go like this, Phil, I've played football before.
I played football as well. Nobody tells you to do that, by the way. If your coach told you to go like this and with your arms,
no,
like
you
this,
put
he's
your
already. Then
how
he's
our
already
coach taught us to tackle was put your head to the side and wrap up,
but with your head up.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
No, but with your head up, you missed the other part.
That's what I'm saying. But you can't when you're in the moment and you're trying to make a key stop. Right, you really think you're worried about where your head's at?
All right. We've talked about this.
I'm just saying, man. Like, okay, have you not? Here. Okay, for the Ohio State fans in here, if that Marvin Harrison, where he got knocked out of the game against Georgia, if that hit's not targeting, if that hit is not targeting, because I know Ohio State fans still cry to this day that is targeting, right? If that hit,
so what do you think about that hit?
I thought that was targeting.
You thought the Marvin Harrison hit was targeting?
Yes.
All right.
If that is not targeting, then how is what Jordan Botelho did targeting? I'm asking you specifically, because that
We have never seen that targeting call made in
Yeah,
college football
exactly.
history. Absolutely never. You
Exactly.
can't tackle without putting your head going down. This is this is from a person who's never played football. You absolutely
You
can.
can,
People
you
do it all the
can.
time.
Michael
Ryan
Dallas saying you
Shazier
can.
of the Steelers broke his neck tackling correctly, actually. Right?
See, I like this
So
comment by Antoine. He said they made put football into a. I'm not going to say that live, but sport. Everything is a damn penalty. I agree. It's football, and people made jokes on Twitter saying, "Well, we gotta protect the kid's hips, man. We gotta protect him."
no, man, I don't think that was it. Again, I explained I explained my what I interpret of it, right? The rule is in place not just to protect the offensive player, but the defensive player as well. Like these guys get hurt too. We saw
So
it,
then,
right?
why aren't
Like
we
we've
calling
seen
it
it
on running backs when they lower their head 20 times a game
because
to get a yard?
oh my god,
No,
this is crazy.
seriously, Phil. Like if it's to protect the defenders,
Right.
when these running backs run and they lower their head, we see Donovan Edwards do it. We see Audric Estime do it. We see every running back in college football do it. Why isn't that called?
They lower.
They lower their head to get extra yards. We see it all the time. Why isn't that called?
This is
I mean,
ridiculous,
I've
bro.
seen defensive players. Defensive players have been complaining about that in college football since targeting was implemented because
Right.
running backs use their helmet and lower it all the time and use it as a spear, but it's not. They don't call it on them.
Sure. 1 second. Like and share the stream. Thank you to everyone who is in here. We appreciate it very much. Make sure you like and share the stream. All right. Let me see what Antoine has to say before we move on. Now they got this BS where you carry the tackle out of bounds. It's a penalty when you are following through on your tackle. Some of that stuff is not egregious. All right. So look, if you are tackling somebody who is out of bounds, I guess I get it. I get it. Sure, that we understand though. We've lamented the fact that the rules are put in place, especially these days, to help the offense,
Yep.
right? Because they've done studies that show people want to see points scored. Basically, right? That's what it comes down to. The rules have changed. It's never going to go back to your grandfather's and your father's football. The days of Jack Tatum and these other guys running around defensive backfields knocking people's heads off is over, right? You got to adjust to the game. There's no more Sean Taylors anymore. You got to be freaking one of these new guys. All right? That's just the bottom line. So if you know the rules, play by the rules, bottom line, or don't play football. Create your own league where you can break necks and everyone has CTE. I don't know.
See, hold on. Let me pull up this picture real quick because I think
Sure.
this is what I was meaning. Let me pull up this real quick on Twitter. This is where he goes to go for the tackle. That's the picture
fair.
right before he hits. How is that heading with the crown of your helmet? This is the guy that was called for targeting right here. How is that leading with the crown of your helmet?
I
Explain
can't
that to me.
believe that you are still talking
I'm
about
just
this
saying, like
thing,
I'm
about
so
a game that you won, bro. This is
because
crazy.
the
I
refs have
played
been like
football
this
and
all
it's
year.
trash. Nobody needed protection in that play. You didn't play organized football. I know you. Oh my god, man. This is crazy. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on.
Oh, and
You guys obviously eke by Duke. You need a last second drive, as you talked about, from your quarterback that you brought over because he's supposed to be a star. You guys are averaging less than, how many points are you averaging? 22 a game, 22 and a half a game?
who? Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
No. That's some Iowa
What's the
numbers. What are
average?
you talking about?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That is poor Iowa. That's Iowa.
Hold
What's
on.
Notre Dame averaging right now?
If I can even find it.
Anyway, it
Total
doesn't
offense.
matter because that's not the point. The point is
Oh, wait,
this:
hold on.
you played two ranked teams. The first team being the other state. You managed how many points?
Okay, total points scored. Let's see, points per game. All right, that's for players.
Look at you off on the rabbit hole here. The
No, I'm
point
trying.
is, you scored less than 20 points against Ohio State, right?
Yep. Notre Dame is 20th in the country in total offense.
All right.
So
Well,
that
total
is
total offense isn't points scored, but all right.
I can't find. For whatever reason, NCAA doesn't keep track of points per game.
Got you. All right. So the point is they scored less than 20 points against the other state. They scored just over 20 points against Duke.
So we're probably around 30 some points because the other games we averaged 46 points per game.
Okay. So, but Sam Hartman was brought here, right? Was he transferred to Notre Dame? You were telling me in the offseason I couldn't hear enough about Sam Hartman in the offseason and how great he was. But in those two games against Duke and the other state, he has a grand total
Oh, I
of
found it. Notre Dame
two touchdown passes.
Notre Dame is averaging 36.5 points per game.
Sweet.
Where's Michigan at? Oh, they're all the way down there. 34.4 points per game. So Notre Dame's still averaging more points than you.
Yeah, but we're beating teams by more than you. I don't want to like. What point does that make?
We have better offense. We have a better offense.
You have a better offense.
We only scored 17 and 21, and we still are averaging more points per game.
Cool. Whatever, man. I'm not even gonna. That's a ridiculous statement. I'm not even gonna go there with you. Look, the thing is, you have not performed. Sam Hartman hasn't performed like the Sam Hartman that I was told.
What are you talking about? He's got 14 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Come on, man.
I'm talking about when he plays ranked opponents.
Dude, Ohio
against
State.
Your toughest competition.
Dude, Ohio
he scored
State.
2 touchdowns.
Ohio State is number 6 in total defense in college football. Duke is number 10.
Good for them.
You realize that Duke had not given up a single pass or a single play that it went for 20 plus yards all season long. And Notre Dame was the first team to do that, right?
Political stunt job. Yo, this isn't CNN, bro. this isn't
like,
CNN.
dude,
it's not ESPN. It's none of the ends.
So we're the
Maze Madman show.
We're gonna go put up JJ McCarthy on his pedestal for playing Bowling Green,
right?
And say he's great because he can't put more than 45 points up on Bowling Green. Meanwhile, Sam Hartman's out here putting up 40 points a game against actual Power 5 opponents.
Wait a minute. You're saying things nobody said.
Like, dude, if I bet you right now,
you just created a narrative and then said that everybody's saying that.
You're saying that Michigan's offense is better when they put up 30 points a game on trash competition. Notre Dame's putting 45 on trash competition.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So is that
I think Notre Dame's offense is better.
Okay. I'm okay with that. That's fair. Notre Dame's offense is better than Michigan's, according to Ryan.
And our defense is better. Fine.
Sam Hartman is on the Heisman race list, not JJ McCarthy. Okay. I don't think you guys are making an argument that I'm not having, but okay. Michigan is scoring just about every drive. This is about style. Absolutely.
You guys are playing trash teams. Come on, man.
Madman is full of ends.
Dude, I'm telling you right now. So
I don't know. I guess that's a
people are bashing Sam Hartman, right?
What I just said about CNN.
Dude, ESPN, he's got 14 touchdowns, no INTs. Half the game Sam Hartman.
By the way, it's 1 in Maze Madman, but all right.
Half the games that Sam Hartman has played in, he didn't play the second half. You know why? Because Notre Dame was already up by damn near.
Did you say he didn't play the second half?
Yeah, he didn't play in 3 games.
What half did Sam Hartman not play in?
He didn't play in the second half against Navy.
He didn't play, so he didn't touch the field in the third quarter.
He played 1 drive in the third quarter against Navy.
All right.
He didn't play in the second half against Tennessee State. He didn't play in the second half against Central Michigan. Like, come on. He played in the third quarter against Central Michigan.
So tell me the game that JJ McCarthy has finished. Name the one game.
Why would he need to finish against Hawaii?
So again, you're making the argument for me here, right?
But I'm saying
he also has not finished any of these games. We just played a Big Ten team and played 4 quarterbacks. 4. In fact, here's a stat for you. Michigan 79 players traveled to Nebraska to play. 77 of those 79 players touched the field.
Because Nebraska's garbage.
The point is,
They're
we're
garbage.
not playing starters either.
You realize
this is
also,
crazy.
okay. Also, let me ask you this, Phil. Put Michigan on the field at Duke. With game day there, Duke's undefeated, right?
What does game day matter?
Okay, anyway, take away Michigan starting 3 receivers. They're out. They're not playing. Is Michigan gonna absolutely drug Duke?
You guys
so.
weren't missing 3 starting receivers.
We were. Jaden Greathouse
2 starting receivers. 2 starters.
Okay, and Jaden Greathouse is our best receiver, and he's a true freshman.
I don't. By whose metric is he the best receiver?
He leads the team in yards and touchdowns.
Okay, so so a true freshman is your best receiver. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, cool.
But anyway, I'm saying take away Michigan, take away Cornelius Johnson, take away Roman Wilson. Who's your third best receiver?
Take probably Darius Clemens.
Okay, take away Darius Clemens. Who the hell is JJ going to throw to?
He's got plenty of targets.
Okay.
He's got Colston Loveland. He's got.
Oh, come on.
What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? Listen, I'm not even here to argue this point. This is a moot point. This is a point that you were trying to use to make the case
before you say that Notre Dame looked terrible on offense with 3 receivers.
When did I say that? Tell me when I said that.
You said earlier that Sam Hartman has struggled in 2 games against 2 ranked opponents. You didn't give context that both of them.
I said that Sam Hartman has struggled, right? Sam Hartman.
Yes, but did he have his receivers in the last game? No.
Okay, he had them in the game before that, though, right?
No, Deion Colzie was still out. We were without one of our.
So is Deion Colzie? Who is Deion Colzie? Like. Hey yo, I'm done with this topic, bro.
And Jaden Thomas hold on. And against Ohio State,
Jaden
Thomas got hurt before halftime, so he didn't have the number 1 receiver.
Cool. We've got to move on, man. This Notre Dame talk is absurd. This is absurd talk right here, bro. All right, let's move on. Michigan is the number 2 team in the country. I have them as the number 1 team in the country. The Week 0 podcast still has them as the number 2 team in the country. Tell me why Michigan shouldn't be number 1.
I don't think Georgia or Michigan should be number 1. If anyone's going to climb Georgia for the number 1 spot right now, based off of who you've played and who you've beaten, I think Texas deserves that. But it's kind of the same thing with me, and this is how I ranked mine.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, we're really going to...
Michigan knows how to count to 11 is basically what she's saying.
We're going to keep bringing up the 10 men on the field thing.
You did it twice. You did it 2 times in a row. It cost you a football game.
Okay, really? That's 2 weeks ago. Get over it. It's like people still bringing up Marshall. It's like that was a year and a half ago. Anyway, no, I think Georgia and Michigan are very comparable.
Okay.
Obviously, not as much. Georgia's been struggling against bad teams, but so Michigan came out with slow starts in the first half against pretty much every team they've played, not named Nebraska. So I think both of them have neither.
What's a slow? What constitutes a slow start? Because I
like 14-6 against Bowling Green at halftime.
Okay, that's one team though. What's the other?
17. What was it? Was it 14-7 against Rutgers at halftime? 17-7.
So scoring on 3 of 4 drives is a slow start
against Rutgers.
I mean, it's a slow start though.
Yeah, like we're talking about.
If you score on 75% of your drives, you are not good somehow,
dude. You realize that 30 points is not a lot.
Oh my God.
When you end the game with 30 points.
Crazy conversation.
Anyway, my point is that Georgia, Georgia struggled with Auburn. Well, this speaks volumes of all the teams that Michigan has played. Auburn is better than any team Michigan has played this year.
That's your opinion. I don't believe Auburn. Auburn cannot pass the ball at all.
Auburn would kill Nebraska. What are you talking about?
Auburn would kill Nebraska. That's hilarious.
Colorado beat Nebraska, and Colorado damn near lost to Colorado State. Come on, man.
Colorado damn near beat USC. Come on, man.
Because
What are we
USC
talking
doesn't play
about?
defense.
I don't. You don't. You're missing the point here. And by the way, these transitive property things, you're becoming like the transitive property uh, gold medalist. You're a gold medalist in the transitive property Olympics. That
No,
is
man,
a
'cause,
ridiculous
I think
argument.
Auburn is better than Nebraska. That was
All
not
right.
a hot take. They got a better record. They have a better record. And I think it's just I don't get all the Michigan
Auburn
hype.
is one dimensional, super one dimensional. Not
Yes.
just I'm not saying they're one dimensional like in it's hyperbolic. They are one dimensional, period. They
But also,
cannot
Phil,
pass the ball.
did we or did we not see the same Georgia team last year struggle against Missouri, struggle against Kent State, for God's sake? I mean, we saw that last year. And that same team, guess what? Everybody was worried about Georgia those weeks, right? What happened when we got to playoff time? Oh, you're muted, by the way. Yeah, I don't know if it. Yeah, there you go.
They won the national championship.
How much did they win the national championship by?
I mean, they destroyed TCU.
Exactly. So I think that's where a lot of people are like, we're giving Georgia the benefit of the doubt because they did this last year. Same thing. And a few games. And guess what? They still, when push came to shove, and it was time for the big lights.
At this point of competitive schedule in college football by week 5, and this is an absurd conversation to be number 1 in college football.
Like I feel like my argument would be Michigan is like the Michigan is like that 2014 Florida State team that Jameis Winston. They did not play. Florida State in 2014 had one of the easiest schedules in college football. The only tough game they had was against Clemson and Miami. They beat Clemson and Miami. They didn't get tested in those games until late in the year. But every single game that they played, they looked great because you know what? They're playing middle Tennessee Tech. They're playing Hawaii A&M. Like that's why. I mean,
man. And by the way, you're being a little dishonest here. You're being intellectually dishonest.
4-1. Come on, man.
No. You're being intellectually dishonest about that Florida State team because what you are not mentioning is that the year before they won the national championship. They had some. But
what happened when they got to the playoff and they played Oregon?
Well, they lost.
They got ran through like a buzzsaw. What happened?
Okay, so they were not as good as Oregon that year. They had lost pieces from the previous year. However, if those two teams played 10 times, I wouldn't expect Oregon to win all 10 of those games.
It was a blowout. It wasn't close.
I get it was a blowout. It was a blowout though because of the early turnovers, not because that Oregon was so much better than Florida State. Right? Like I get what you're saying though. Sure.
Yeah. And I think Georgia reminds me of that Florida State team as well. Because Georgia has like let's not. I'm not sitting here acting like Georgia's schedule was that tough either. If I'm going through the list of top 25 teams and I'm ranking who had the tougher schedule, Georgia and Michigan would be at the bottom of that list and they'd be like 1A and 1B because neither of them have been tested. We'll see what Georgia can do against Kentucky this weekend. But looking down Michigan's schedule, when do they get tested? When's their actual game where you feel like Michigan has a legit shot to lose this game?
The only game I don't feel like Michigan has
exactly.
a legit shot
Penn State,
to lose
maybe?
any game.
Penn State, maybe.
Yeah, that's the only game that I feel like is a tough game. However, that's not speaking to Michigan would have to play that schedule anyway. That's the Big Ten schedule that it has, right?
It's down.
So they would have to play that schedule regardless. It doesn't matter. Like it's not like we chose these teams to play. You know, the
non-con, the non-conference
exactly.
you guys chose.
But they chose those games years ago. Again, it's not like last year we were like, oh, let's play UNLV next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it. Whatever. The to this point, the schedule has been.
Is there a reason? Like I'm not poking fun at Michigan. Is there a reason that the guy who makes the schedule because I noticed this with not just Michigan but Ohio State as well. Is there a reason why they don't like scheduling big out of conference games? Not just with Notre Dame, but like why don't we see Michigan play, I don't know, in Alabama week 1? Why don't we see Michigan play at Texas week? Like, I've noticed that for years with the Big Ten that they don't like scheduling big
that wouldn't
week
be
1
true.
non-con.
That's not true. The other state just had Oregon on the schedule a couple years ago. Before that, they had Oklahoma on the schedule. Before that, Michigan played Alabama week 1 in Texas.
When?
I mean, that's been a while ago. It's like 10 years ago. They played Alabama week 1 in Texas, the Cowboy Stadium or whatever. We have Texas on the schedule next year. So
which is
I don't
the
know,
worst year. Out of all the years you picked to have,
some of those teams don't want to do home and homes, and that's just the fact. Alabama is historically like they don't really do home and homes. They did this with Texas just recently, but they like to do those neutral site games that end up in a place like Texas that isn't neutral for a team like Michigan. You know what I mean? Georgia does neutral site games in Atlanta. That isn't neutral site. So, it's those types of things. But
Antoine says because we got to go through the Big Ten and we're not no freelance team. Right, like the Big Ten's a juggernaut. If you put Notre Dame in the Big Ten right now, Notre Dame's probably what? Second best team, at least in the Big Ten.
Mike, I'm about to mute your mic. Notre Dame's the second best team in the Big Ten.
I hear Michigan and Ohio State fans act like the Big Ten is some gauntlet. It's not. Wisconsin's not what they used to be. Iowa is just dog doo-doo. Michigan State, they don't even know what they're doing anymore.
So this is a bit of recency or recency bias here. Because 2 years ago, could you say that about Michigan State?
No.
2 years ago, could you say that about Iowa? 3 years ago, could you say that about Wisconsin? So no. I don't think that it's fair to say that, you know what I mean? Like, sure, those teams are down right now, which is causing the conference to be down right now. But those teams will be back. Those teams will bounce back. Heck, next year, we're getting teams that are littered through the top 25 into the conference. So, it's all about when.
I mean, but like Antoine says, like, we got to go through the Big Ten. I feel like you can only say, well, we got to go through this conference. You can only say that if you are in the SEC or you're the Pac-12 right now. Because
why can't you say that about the SEC right now?
Because the SEC is still the SEC.
That's a bogus statement.
Dude, the SEC has more ranked teams than the Big Ten.
Right now, sure.
The ACC actually has more ranked teams in the Big Ten this year. That's insane.
The ACC?
Yeah. North Carolina, Florida State.
Okay.
And Miami. Miami's ranked 2.
Miami's an ACC team, sure.
And then wait. Never mind. The Big Ten has 4. The ACC has 3. Maryland sneak in there, but they're not going to be there very long.
Louisville's an ACC team, right?
Oh, yeah. Never mind. So you guys are tied. 4-4. 4-4.
Yeah. Either way, man. Michigan. All right. So the consensus is Michigan shouldn't be number 1.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying like I think it's close. We're not being cowards. We want our money. The Big Ten won't give us our money. I told you guys that. Anyway, I think Michigan and Georgia are really, really comparable right now. The argument I would have, when's the last time Michigan State beat Notre Dame? I think they beat Notre Dame since what, like 2009? So, yeah, don't do that. And the last time we played you guys before that, we beat you guys. So it goes both ways.
We own that series just like we own just about every series
since 2000
in college
Michigan,
football.
Since 2000, you guys have beat us one more time than we beat.
Yeah, you. I mean, it's still we're on top. I don't care by how many.
It's
we
9
are
to
beating
8.
you
Come
more
on,
than you're
man.
beating us. Is the bottom line.
It's 9 to 8. Come on.
No, the point. It's only wins and losses, bro. Nobody's gonna look at it. 30 years from now and be like, oh, they only won one more time during that time. No, they're gonna say they won
Okay,
more
but
than
I'm
that
saying,
other
like,
team won.
you guys are acting like it was like what Ohio State did to you guys for a decade plus. Like, you guys didn't just dominate us. We literally, it's been, you could say
I don't
Notre
know what
Dame and
you mean.
Michigan is a closer rivalry than Michigan Ohio State has been.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can't, because we actually play close games. Every
Yeah.
time Michigan Ohio State plays, it's a blowout one way or the other.
I mean, that's of late though. That's like post 2016. That's the case.
Like, when Notre Dame Michigan plays,
2017 was actually a good game.
like when Notre
Or was it
Dame Michigan
18?
play, I don't know, Phil. As a Notre Dame fan, I personally I think Notre Dame Michigan is better than Notre Dame USC. I think it's better than Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan is
State.
clearly a better rival than.
No,
any
I'm
of you
saying,
guys'
like, as a Notre Dame
rivalry
fan,
games.
I don't really care about USC. They only became relevant last season. Michigan
Well,
State.
that's not fair. USC.
That is fair.
They have a history of being relevant, bro.
We beat them 8 years in a row. That's not being relevant.
No, I mean, I get that. But that's again, like, just recently that's been the case. But they have a history of being relevant. That's why you guys have a rivalry with them. But I would still argue that Michigan and Notre Dame is a bigger rivalry than USC Notre Dame.
And honestly, I think if Notre Dame would play Ohio State more, like if Notre Dame played Ohio State every year, that would become a rivalry real quick. I really think it would. I'm surprised that it never did become a rivalry. Because
you guys haven't beaten them since before the Second World War. So
we've only played 8 times.
I mean, 8 times over that span, that doesn't sound like a rivalry to me. That sounds like one team dominating the other.
We played 8 times in 100-some years. Like that. Come on.
And they're dominating the series, bro.
They don't want to play us every year, though. They're scared.
Yeah. For what? Why would they want to do that? You guys aren't as good as you think you are.
We're not 0-8. We're not 0-8, Moose. We're 2-6.
2-6 versus the other
Ohio State. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. Let's move on before we spend too much time on this. Be sure to like and share the live if you're in here. Ranked matchups in Michigan Pick'ems, Ryan. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Starting with this one, number 13, Oklahoma.
It's actually at Oklahoma.
You're right. Technically, you're right, because although the game is going to be played in the state of Texas. But go ahead. Who's
Oklahoma?
Who wins this one? You got Oklahoma winning?
I got them in the upset. I think they're going to come into this game pissed off from last year when they got embarrassed on national TV. I think what Brett Venables has done with that defense. I don't know if you've watched Oklahoma this year.
I have.
Their defense is vastly improved.
Right.
In just one season. So I think OU gets it done.
All right. So Ryan's picking Oklahoma. I'm going to go with Texas to win that one. Number 23, LSU is at Missouri. LSU is a 6.5-point favorite. Who wins this one?
You already know. Give me Mizzou. They're going to win the SEC this year. Give me the Tigers.
Now my friends, is a hot take.
The real Tigers, not the fake Tigers.
Missouri is going to win the SEC.
Yes.
Missouri is better than Georgia.
Yep.
Hey, yo.
I'm telling you right now.
Hey, if y'all want me to cut Ryan's mic, say
Missouri, dude.
Say
Missouri is going to that Missouri-Kentucky game is going to decide the SEC East. I'm telling you.
All right, man.
Laugh at me now. Laugh at me now.
No, you have the right to this take. I'm gonna get the fair. They're gonna beat LSU. They're gonna go on to win the SEC. Missouri. I'm gonna go with LSU to win this game. They came off a tough loss against Ole Miss at Ole Miss. I think they get this one done. I'm gonna take LSU and the point. Number 11 outside of the top 10. Notre Dame.
Our number 10.
Yeah, well, they're number 11 on the coaches poll. That's why I use this one.
Coaches poll is terrible.
And on my poll has them at 11.
So number 10.
Number
Notre
10,
Dame.
all right, Notre Dame at number 25, Louisville. Notre Dame 6.5. I don't expect you to choose anything but Notre Dame, but go ahead.
Go Notre Dame. Notre Dame by 50.
No, I mean seriously though.
This game is not going to be close. I'm telling you.
All right, how many scores do you think Notre Dame wins?
Notre Dame wins by 17 plus.
17 plus. All right. Notre Dame big. I actually agree. I don't think Louisville should be ranked. I think Maryland should be ranked and not Louisville, but that's neither here nor there. Number 2, Michigan travels to one of the toughest places in America to play, Minnesota, to face the Golden Gophers and PJ Fleck. UM 19.
What time is this game at? What time is this game at?
I think it's a 7:30 game. 7:30.
All right. I'm going to go with the Golden Gophers there, bud.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Rode the boat.
Stop it, Brian. We're gonna cut your mic off seriously. 19-point favorites, Michigan.
Seriously. Golden Gophers for the win.
All right. I'm gonna obviously be the voice of reason here today. Ryan has had some illegal substance and he is feeling a different kind of way today. Michigan wins this game by all the points. Give me Michigan and the points. Sorry for PJ Fleck.
And Minnesota's defense is legit, man.
Cut his mic, please. Close first quarter, blowout in third, favor of Michigan. Tell him, Phil. Absolutely.
Tell him, Phil.
He's smoking crack.
Nope.
Another who cares game. Missouri can beat LSU, especially with the LSU defense giving up.
Yeah,
man,
Brady
that was
Cook.
crazy.
Brady Cook is going to be cooking.
Was any defense being played in that game? The Ole Miss LSU game.
Minnesota. Oh wait, I love it. It's Minnesota. Like it's like instead of Minnesota, it's
Dallas fan said Michigan doesn't cover, but win.
Yeah, Michigan doesn't ever cover.
I mean, we just covered.
That was the first time.
Last season we covered every game but like 1 or 2, by the way. So to say Michigan doesn't ever cover is kind of a crazy take.
Michigan would drag ND. That's not true.
Oh,
Notre Dame has the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line this year.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
You're not winning it for a third time, Phil.
We're definitely taking that thing. Did you see us the last game? Domination.
Our offensive line.
Absolute domination.
Oh, really? We got a couple offensive linemen that haven't even gave up a sack this year.
Ditto.
Ours are going to be first-round picks.
Says you. No, I'm joking. Joe Alt is a first-round pick for sure. The other guy, he's a first-round pick. This dude is so bad. Yeah. Yo, your takes were flaming today. But I gotta give it to you. You are standing firm in that. You really believe that Minnesota's gonna win that game?
No, we're just on the show, and since these pick'ems don't count towards anything, I figured I'd say something crazy.
What do you mean? These pick'ems matter, bro. We're keeping score. We're keeping score. By the way, I'm winning. I'm up.
Oh, of course
from
you
last
are.
week.
We have one elite offensive line. That's funny. That's funny.
Shout out to the Michigan fans in here. Let me ask you, Ryan, before we get out of here. Who is your final four in the college football playoff this season?
Number one.
Michigan. It's
Nope.
all right.
Nope. Number one, Ohio State.
Come on.
Number
man.
two.
Come on, bro.
Number two. I got Missouri because they're the SEC champs. Number three.
This is not real.
This is real.
I said your serious top four.
This is my serious top four.
Come on, man.
Like this at the end of the season, this is what's going to be. Number one, Ohio State. Number two, Mizzou. Number three, it's going to be a Pac-12 team. I got to pick a Pac-12 champ.
Missouri?
F it. I'm going to go Washington State. Wins the Pac-12. And then number four, Notre Dame at 11-1.
we're
Phil.
gonna end the show on that note right there. This man just said the Missouri Tigers, number 2 overall, into the college football playoffs.
If
He
that
followed
happens,
that
Phil,
up with the Washington State Cougars into the college football playoff as the number 3 seed. Oh man. So anyway, that was Ryan had a bad day today. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Ryan had a tough day today. Those takes are flaming hot.
By the way, did you see what the BCS rankings? Like you remember the thing they used for the computer that they used to do the BCS? Yep. Did you see those?
I didn't.
On Twitter. Guess who the number 1 team is?
Who's number 1?
Missouri.
Missouri is number 1.
Number 2 is Miami.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Washington State. And number 4 is Ohio State. So that's why I put those 2 teams in there, because the BCS rankings.
Notre Dame wins by 3 scores versus Louisville. It's personal for Sam Hartman and the media. Cardinals fans throwing last year's game in his face because of bad O-line. Okay. Ohio State is number 2 on my list. Okay.
What if you put Texas at 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia at 3, Michigan at 4?
This is what happens when Notre Dame falls off. Notre Dame fans lose their damn mind. He certainly lost his.
Hey, you know what? When Missouri fucks around and wins the SEC, I want my flowers.
You know what? I will send you. You know what? Write this down. Everybody, take note of this. If Missouri wins the SEC, I'm sending Ryan 100 roses. No, what's that times 120? Because that's 10 dozen roses. I'm sending Ryan because those flowers. You get ready, sir.
Oh man, that would be hilarious. I feel like that would actually break the internet if Missouri fucks around and wins the SEC.
If Missouri wins the SEC, they need to find you. If you need a job on, you should be setting point spreads. You should be in Vegas setting point spreads. All of that, giving the preseason.
I should put money on that right now.
You should. No, you should. $1,000 on Missouri. $1,000 on Missouri. And anybody who believes Ryan's nonsense, you go put $1,000 on Missouri too. Because that is incredible, by the way. The Brooklyn Bridge is for sale too for those same people. Meet me under the bridge for the deed. That being said, we got to get out of here. It's been real, Ryan. Another episode 26. We're up to 26 episodes. Show. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone. Until next time, stay angry, my friends.